Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube table Enabled. Today we're doing Simon Kufay and Tet in our Chaim 179. What's considered a Hesach Adas? Yesterday we talked about Shikinu Makom in the middle of a meal. Today we're talking about something where you may see Das from eating, meaning you're distracted or you give up hope or you give up thought of possibly eating again. Can you resume eating? Do you make a bracha? What things are called Hesach Adas? Let's start with Aleph. Gomer Sudasav Natal Yad of Mayim Achronim. You finish your meal. We'll talk next week about the obligation of Mayim Achronim. I used to wash Mayim Achronim all the time. Personally, I stopped. I definitely have what to be somech on. Number of big rabbanim do not wash Mayim Achronim nowadays. I'll tell you why I hold that way, but you have to wait till next week. But here, you are one of those people that were no tel yadayim, Mayim Achronim. And yachal echal v'lo lishtos. You can't eat or drink. Ad shevarach birkas hamazon. The reason of this halacha is not because of Hesach Hadas. The reason is stronger than Hesach Hadas. It's actually, the Gemara says, take if l'netila bracha after you do the Yadayim, and the Gemara and the poskim understand that not just the Yadayim before the meal, you should make a bracha on hamotzi, but also in Yadayim mayim achronim, you should do birkas hamazon right away. Therefore, you're not even supposed to talk, right? People after they wash mayim achronim, you'll see some people, they don't talk because you're really not supposed to. As Mr. Bura says, b'di eved, you're allowed to talk. But you shouldn't be eating or drinking because that's considered a big hefsek. Until you make birkas hamazon. If he didn't wash mayim achronim, he just says, right? He's sitting in his own house, presumably, and he says havlam v'nevarich. He says to the waiter or the waitress or to his wife who's acting as the waitress, give us mayim achronim, or give us the kos shel bracha. I'll talk about it. He's on kos shel bracha. V'nevarich. Let's do birkas hamazon. Have a hesach hadas. Once you say those words, a hesach hadas. V'asur lo lishos elim ken yivarich alav tchila. You're not supposed to drink, but if you want to drink, you're allowed to drink. You just have to make a bracha, right? Because it's not covered anymore. It's not exempted by the bread that you ate at the beginning of the meal. V'achila dina k'shtiya la rush. According to the rush, the same thing about eating. If you want to resume eating, you have to make a new bracha on the food. Again, the bracha achrona would be covered by birkas hamazon. Aval Rav Rabbeinu Yonah v'haran achila shiny. Eating is different. Even though he said havlam v'nevarich, he plans on not eating anymore. He wants to bench. You don't move the table. You don't have to make a new bracha on food. This does not include dessert. We're talking about foods that you would eat for the meal, right? Things which normally be covered by the bread. According to the Ran Rabbeinu Yonah, they hold that until you do the Tilas Yadayim, you're still eating, even when you say Havlan Mevarich. So it's a machlokas rishonim. What do you do by achila? So savik brachas lahakla. You wouldn't make a bracha if you want to resume eating. You want to resume drinking, you'd have to make a new bracha. If you said Havlan Mevarich, most people, people do say this. They say to their wife, "Bring the mayim achronim, bring the kos shel bracha." Let's say you're at someone else's house. Even if you are a rude guest and you say you're eating at someone else's house, he invited you over to the meal, and you tell his wife, go bring, it's time, the meal is taking too long, this meal. Go bring the mayim achronim, go bring the kos shel bracha. It's not a hesed for anyone, even for yourself, because who's ultimately in charge? The Baal Habayis. Whether you wanted to be quote-unquote rude. I want to talk about this halacha more and Ian to lean on. Whether this is something considered rude or this is something considered normal according to the poskim. The Ian to lean is not so much halachically oriented. It's sort of like hashkaf or practically oriented. Everyone finds themselves sometimes when you're a guest at somebody else's house. And, some people are good and they have short meals. But some people, they don't know how to end the meal and they just keep on going and going. And for many years I was a guest at people's tables, and I had to go. I didn't want to stay any longer, and they just kept on going and schmoozing about that when they were in 4th grade and they lost their left shoe, and they couldn't find it during recess until finally one kid found the shoe that was half eaten by the dog, and it was half destroyed. We had to put it on and tie the laces, in order to get it home, and then he had to buy new shoes. So he was telling me that story, and he's got another story also about when he was in 3rd grade and he lost his pencil and there was no sharpener in the room. So sometimes you're at those people's houses and they don't know how to end the meal, and it's a problem because you want to leave. What do you do? I even saw they have a newcomer's guide to Israel meant for, boys learning in gap year programs and yeshivas or seminary girls. You know, some, practical advice how to navigate Israel, what stores to shop in, what restaurants there are to eat in. They also had advice. What do you do when you go to someone's house and you want to end the meal? They have some, like 10 ideas. We'll talk about that. Ian to lean on, more fun Ian to lean on today. If you didn't say Havlan Avarech and you didn't do Netilas Mayim Achronim, Mishnata Al Kos Avarech Havehas Chadas. Once he appoints you, a host appointed you to make Birkas Hamazon on the coast of grape juice or wine, whatever your choice is. The right choice is always grape juice. Why would you have wine? So once you pick up the coast, that's already considered Havlam and Avarech, and therefore, if you want to drink again, make it a bracha. If you want to eat again, it will be a suffix. Better not to, but if you want to, you don't have to make a bracha. Daled. You go to your friend's house, and your friend happens to have a big dining room, a huge dining room, and he has, he's throwing a party in his house. He has different round tables, 10 people at a table, like a wedding hall, right? Hey, come over here, let's have a l'chaim, your Hashi Tishler, for example, you're going in this person's house, you want to make a rosham, you want to make an impression. Everyone, hey, have a l'chaim with me, have a l'chaim. On each coast they give you of wine, you may buy Gaffin. If they gave you your Glenlivet 21 at each table, you didn't know you were getting at another table. Even though you're such a popular guy like Hashi Tishler, it's possible they won't give it to you at every table. It was me, they give it at every table, so I will make one bracha. Hashi Tishler, I'm joking. I love Hashi Tishler. I like his personality. I don't know him too well, but I like his personality. I don't agree with everything he does, but hey, Hakruim base Balavayas, Echol Mine Peros, Mevin Lahem Bezeh Charzeh. You come to your friend's house, and they keep on giving you different types of fruits. They're offering you some pears and some apples, and some oranges and some peaches. Einam Strichen Levarach Ala Rishon, I'm doing a bracha on the one, because the case we're talking about is presumably like you go to a first-class restaurant, a high three-star Michelin restaurant like Noma. We're going to talk about in Langford Buck News, which is closing down, the top restaurant in the world. It's a restaurant in Copenhagen, Denmark, if you didn't know where it was. If you want to go there, they serve the heart of a reindeer. That's one of their specialties. You literally eat the heart of a reindeer grilled. And then Santa Claus comes out afterwards and gives you a big hug. I'm joking about that. But that actually would make it fun. That would solve the problem of why they're closing down. They should make it fun. That's a problem. The things that restaurants are missing is an aspect of fun. I'll talk about it in Langford Buck News, but only in a minute. But I'll elaborate more now. If you want to have a good restaurant experience, the problem is they have all these exquisite foods. It takes a long time to prepare. The profit margin is not so great. They work long hours. They have a lot of employees to make it a unique dining experience. They charge $500 a head, just to come and, sit there and give you a 10-course meal. But, they're making a lot of money off of that. But it's a lot of preparation, a lot of workers, and a lot of hours. And you don't make that much profit. So you might get a lot of notoriety as a 3-star Michelin, the top restaurant in the world, 5 of the last 20 years. However, at the end of the day, it's missing something. So bring the cost down. Don't make such exquisite food. Make good food, not such exquisite food. And add an element of fun into your restaurant. I really plan on opening a restaurant one day. Maybe perhaps my brother-in-law, who is a cook. He is a chef at a yeshiva, at a seminary, at Darchi Bina and Imre Bina. He does both. I think his wife cooks at Imre Bina. I don't know if they're related. They have anything to do with each other. But Imre Bina is boys, Darchi Bina is for girls. He's my brother-in-law, Eliyahu Solomon, and his wife Fagi. So they do the cooking over there. So they're, I guess, professional chefs. If you want to call cooking for a seminary, a professional chef. So because they're professionals, maybe he'll join me. But I want to open a restaurant where there's an aspect of fun. We'd have something like Santa Claus. I wouldn't have Santa Claus. I'm Jewish, but he would come and he would hug you after you ate the heart of the reindeer. So anyway, you're at a restaurant like that where they serve 10 courses. You know you're going to get another course after the next one, so you only make one bracha. Vav, achal kol maichav lo achal melech. You ate any food and you didn't eat any salt with it. Shasa kol mashke lo shasa mayim. You drank different beverages, but you didn't drink water. B'yom yidag b'nei reach hapeh. If this meal happened during the day, you should worry about halitosis. Your breath is going to stink. Well, b'nei reach hapeh. B'nei askara. At night, it's even worse. You have to worry about bad breath, and you have to worry about askara, which something is a dry throat. You have a problem breathing. You're supposed to take after you eat. You're supposed to take a little salt, right? Don't take it with your thumb, right? The kasha likbor bonim. You know, if you take it with your thumb for some reason, that's going to cause you to bury your kids while you're still alive. A little bezeres, the kasha, and it's not with your pinky, that'll make you poor. A little etzba, the kasha lashad. You shouldn't take it with your etzba. This is your etzba, your pointer finger. Shad. There's different explanations of what shad is. One explanation is Kav Chaim says shvichas damim. Another one is a girsa shin reish l'shchinra. You can have bad leprosy. You can have, I don't know, you can have scars on yourself, or you're gonna get pimples or something like that. And then another shibol leka is l'shemra. You can have a bad reputation. It's not good to do it with your. Why these things make sense, I don't know. Ela ba'ama v'kmitza. If you want to take the salt, just take it with your middle finger or your kmitza, which is your ring finger. We already mentioned, the Mishnah Berurah mentions it over here, that technically this is a Gemara. However, nowadays most of our food is mixed with salt. We don't eat food without salt. And all of our beverages have water in them, so you don't have to do this, worry about these things. I still think it applies. And also, the Magen Avraham adds that the Tavoim have changed, right? The states of our body, nature has changed. I don't think nature has changed. Why? Who says nature has changed? I think it's a good idea. You should have some salt. It literally means, it doesn't mean, of course, there's salt. Back in the day, also, their food was mixed with salt. How do you eat food without salt? You're talking about just having pure salt at the end of your meal, or drinking water at the end of your meal. I find it very, I don't really eat salt, but it's good to finish off your meal. Let's say you have a Shabbos meal, you have different types of drinks, you know, sweet drinks or something like wine or whatever. To have some water at the end, you know, it really, you know, especially if they have alcohol, you should drink water, you know, just to, you know, go down a little easier. It shouldn't affect you in the wrong way. To make the drinks go down smooth, and I guess the same thing by eating salt. Maybe one day I'll take it upon myself. But according to the Mishnah Berurah, you don't have to worry about this. That's the conclusion of today's share. Stay tuned for Ian to lean on where I talk about a common problem a lot of people have when they go to other people's houses that it's not their family. Even when it's your family, some people have a hard time speaking up and saying, I got to get out of here. We'll talk about what Tosas has to say about that and how it's relevant to you. Ian to lean on coming up next.